Welcome to another video from the Australian College, just having a look at SME Server. In this one we're actually going to have a look at quotas. Now, once again I'm going to make the assumption that you actually are within the actual SME Server environment. If so, simply use your down arrow to go down to quotas and hit the right arrow and it'll bring up. Now this is disk quotas. This allows you to specify how much space each individual user can actually use on a server, which can be very handy if we may have a great number of users and you want to control how much space is used by them alone. It covers a whole range of different areas, and I'm going to go into our screen here. Once again, I'll just use our tab key to go through, and I can use the down arrows. And as it says, the disk space for each user includes the user's home directory, email, and any files owned by the user in the information base. So it can be a very good way of making sure that the user doesn't exceed. Now, to access it at the present time, with the account I've set up for myself, I have no space whatsoever, which would be totally unacceptable. You have two choices. You set up a limit with grace period. In other words, this is how much they can do, okay, and they'll start receiving warnings after they reach that limit, and then you'll have an absolute limit. Once they reach that, anything else that comes in, emails, will not be accepted into their area until they've cleaned out some of the space. So hit enter to give modify. Now our limit with grace period, now the default is in megabytes. However, you can set up for kilobytes if you're absolutely horrible and nasty, or you can set up for gigabytes if you're extremely generous. So I'm going to set up 200 megabytes space, okay, and I'm going to set up 250 as the absolute limit. So I've got those two figures there, and I'll click on save. Once I've done so, it's going to allocate this on the system for me. And as you can see, here it is, operation is successful, and the user account, or myself, has 200 megabytes, my limit with grace, and 250 as the absolute. Now obviously if this is too generous, I can come back in and modify it later, or if it is not generous enough, I can also come back and modify it later as well. And you can do this for all of your users, so you can simply work out how much space you do have, and then you can divide it by the number of users if you'd like, and it works out as a fair and equitable system. I hope you've enjoyed this nice little video on how to set up quotas within SME Server. Thank you.